To them it is logical, and the end justifies the means. I think it was Rockefeller said at the World Bank meeting that this generation are the cannon fodder for this particular agenda. And he said also that, he says, well, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. So all the crisis you're going through in the last 50 years, the breakup of families, the incredible disruption in society, the drugs, etc., that's just what goes into making the omelette, and it's too bad it has to be done.
That's just what has to be done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to skip this break for Infowars.com audio stream listeners. You got to go to that site, listen to those streams, the one on Infowars.com. And then we're also streaming live on the web for PrisonPlanet.tv members. You can see the document cam, the guest cam, the internet cam, and a lot more. So we will be right back in 3 minutes for everybody else. But for PrisonPlanet.tv members and folks, we're going to keep talking behind this break. Alan, I got to tell you, I'm getting better and better with my guests on interrupting, but every time you say something, I want to back it up with footnotes because I myself have verified it 20 other places, and it just freaks me out because you're one of the few people that's done the same research I've done. How do we get this out to people? Because, I mean, this is a guaranteed fact. And then you'll just have some cop in a black uniform just laugh at you because he's in his own little social brainwash clique thinking he's at the top of the pyramid, and then you're looking at him knowing he's walking dead being injected with the cancer viruses.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been putting this out for donkey's years, the same material, and I've given up on those who are gone. I've got to look at the world as a world of survivors and casualties, and it's a war, and when you look at the casualties, and you're in the war and you're helping to fight it, you can't be distracted by the casualties. That's how far gone we are. We've got to realize that we don't have the time to wake up just occasional individual who's well under the New World Order's mind control. We've got to concentrate on a large audience and try and reach as many people as possible within that audience, the individuals who are able to receive. Yeah.
Well, the incredible thing is, amongst the elite, there's not that many, maybe 5,000 or so that really have a big part of the plan in their mind, and even those are compartmentalized and think they're going to be the ones that are saved. I mean, I've had some of the elitists over the years, off record. That's why I can't give us sources. But, but they've written about this too. Say, well, Alex, as you noticed, you're telling them and they don't care, and we are in control. Doesn't that show that we are the elite? And so we do deserve to be doing this. And in fact, that you see it, that means you might want to join us.
That's their simple logic. It's their simple logic. And they're stunned. And they put on a strange expression when you don't take their offer. They can't imagine why you could possibly hang on to what you hang on to for emotional reasons or personal emotional reasons or attachment to others. They can't understand why you don't take the bait or the bribe.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they are just cold-blooded killers. We're going to go back on the main transmission. I want to get into solutions. I mean, I understand you're saying they're casualties, but how does somebody with a loved one or somebody else break them out? There's the classic archetypal image of the cold bucket of ice water being thrown on people. What is that real-world, contextual way that you found to try to break people out? I mean, I know with the programming, it's built in that when you try to break them out, they fight back even more and do a self-assured, self-satisfied little smile and spew, pre-programmed memes back at you. But I want to talk about that with you right now. Here we go.
Don't worry. This show is documented. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down.
And the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire.
And it burns, burns, burns.
Yeah, the truth hurts, but not facing the truth's a lot worse.
The ring of fire.
I indict the globalists. They say through their social Darwinian system that if the public's dumb enough to be enslaved and dumbed down and poisoned, that's what they deserve. And I say to them that, that's like saying, well, if a baby doesn't know how to feed itself, kill it. Like Dr. Peter Singer says, or old people are like mackerel, go ahead and kill them. We destroy who we are as humans when we don't empathize, when we don't take care of weaker, when we don't thrill at unlocking minds or teaching. I love teaching people. I love learning. I love showing people things. I love seeing things be built. I want the best in our species, and to try to suppress the worst in us. Instead, the globalists say, no, order out of chaos. We'll play them off against each other, make them bestial, animalistic, dumb them down, play on their weakest factors. Your take on that, Alan Watt, and then solutions. I know you're saying they're all casualties of war, move on, but for friends, for family, for others, I have been able to unlock minds, but just with a frontal assault of shocking them, maybe like a big bucket of ice water. But what are some of your ideas there?
Yeah, this is the main problem with most people. They try and wake up the person next to them, as generally a spouse or a relative, and that's where dissension comes in. And what generally happens, they overload them with too much at once. You got to realize that you've moved on into a different realm of understanding. That person's still back there in the 6 o'clock news version, and you've got a head-on clash right away. You're talking an alien language to them, and they have been trained that if it isn't on television, it cannot be true. So you have to, even with the presentation of evidence, they still go into a mind lock because they do believe the media is going to tell them all the truths they should know. They really believe that's the function of the media. They've been trained that way. And they have to go into a mind lock when you present them with facts, printed documentation, and so on. And it takes a lot of time, just feeding them a little bit at a time. And so pick something which is contemporary, that is provable to them. Even the heavy aerial spraying we've had for 10 years, coupled with the changing weather, because they're creating this new weather phenomena to convince us that we are the problem. However, they are doing it. You can see them doing it. You can see them even creating a storm. And that's the kind of thing that you can show them immediately, that they must start using their own perceptions for the first time.
And if they deny it, you can show them the Communist Chinese today clearing the air with different devices in Beijing. Now, expanding on that, you mentioned how they want to kill our propulsion or our self-preservation instinct because they say, "Ooh, that's too aggressive. That will, be their impulse drive system to fight us and to have sovereignty and to defend their family and tribalism. Oh no, only our elitist tribalism is okay. We've got to neutralize that in them." And you're right. As Richard N. Haas, the head of the CFR, says, modern environmentalism is about taking our survival drive and turning it against ourselves, making us the problem. So it's kind of a feedback loop, or like being electrocuted. We must get rid of humans to save the humans. So it makes our survival mechanism turn against itself, turn the gun against ourselves. Let's kill ourselves to save ourselves. Meanwhile, the globalists, as you said, with weather control, are doing things to the earth to then stampede us into accepting that we're the problem.
Yeah, it's the guy behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. That's what they're doing. And they whistle in the wind and say nothing while the proof is in front of our faces if we care to look at it. Yeah.
All right, Alan Watt, we've been all over the map here. I want to get more into how somebody listening who's laughing right now, how we get them to realize they've been mesmerized by television, that they are in a dream setting, that they are hypnotized. Your calls are coming up for Alan Watt in about 15 minutes. But, Alan, continuing with the fact that we do have social architects with chemicals, with flickering screens, with semantical distortion, with the tactics of having 6 screens behind the CNN host, and then your subconscious mind can take in all 6 screens, and he's in front of it talking, which is another feed. Then you have a scroll at the bottom, a blue mist in the corner, and then they teach in that high level of television. I mean, I talk to the producers, but it's also in textbooks, that is meant to make you immediately go into subconscious mode. And I'm using that example because that's something that a bureaucrat listening right now, laughing at us, or some cop or somebody thinks they're part of the system. When you're watching CNN tonight, catch how you feel like you're dumbed down, how you're sleeping, how you're daydreaming. I mean, that's what they call it, that brainwave. And then notice it's because your conscious mind can only focus in on one or two things at once. Some people two, most people one. And the more you watch television, the more it narrows what you can pay attention to, and that because there's all those things going on the screen, it automatically flips you into subconscious mode so your brain can take it in. Alan Watt.
To do with the reading as well. Now, you go into an alpha state, and that's where you're highly suggestible. The sensor part of your brain is down, and so you're into alpha state. And when you're reading as well, you see the eye movements. You watch hypnotists, for instance, they love to use something which moves in front of your face. When your eyes are moving from left to right as you read that screen, it's also aiding you to go into that hypnotic state. That's why the reading's at the bottom of the page.